Okay, so let's continue our study. Last video we saw talk about C, chargeback clients and the rest of them, and then darknet and everything into double spend and the rest. So now we're thinking about E and F. So E, the first thing we start with encryption. So what is that encryption? Encryption is basically when we protect a certain kind of data or documents or certain stuffs from unauthorized access. So encryption can be like something like maybe your password. For example, you are trying to access your maybe your phone has a certain password or screen swipe and the rest of them to prevent unauthorized access by people. Let's say, for example, the reason why you're putting password over your phone is not because maybe you are doing something bad or you're trying to hide something. No, you just want unauthorized access to your phone. I remember there were times where in my house I had a mobile phone and my phone had a game. So what basically happens is my younger ones, maybe when I'm sleeping they just take my phone and they start accessing my phone. So what did I do? I took up the phone and then I used the password that they were not aware of. So even though I was sleeping and they had access to the phone, it's of no use to them. So encryption is basically the ways we protect data from unauthorized access. So it could go with files. Let's say, for example, this is a file, for example, now, and I want to save this file. I simply go to save, and then after you save this file, you can encrypt. Like let's say this is saved now. It's just a basic news today. You can encrypt. You can encrypt the file. And this is file encryption for this data. You can put a password to actually open open the file. And then there's another password again. You can actually put the person may be able to open the file, but for a person to modify the contents of the file, let's say for example there's a special password to open the file. There's another special password again to be able to make changes to the file. And then this is advanced. You can, depending on what you want and the rest of them. So encryption is basically we want to stop prying eyes from accessing our documents. Then the other one has to do with the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. So this is basically a group of developers, startups, or organizations that only come together to develop business applications or softwares or whatsoever for the betterment of society or for businesses or whatsoever. And then ETH has to do with the symbol of Ethereum. So you can see here the symbol of Ethereum. That is ETH. And then you talk about Ether. So Ether is the digital currency that enables transaction to occur in the Ethereum ecosystem. Then you have Ether. I'll talk about Ether. Then you have Ethereum. So Ethereum is basically a blockchain asset or a blockchain. You want to put it, it's a cryptocurrency, it's a protocol, it's an open source software. Anyhow you want to explain it, but that enables people to build decentralized applications, smart contracts. It can be used to exchange anything, maybe as a traditional currency for maybe participating in ICOs or whatsoever. So that is Ethereum. And then you have an exchange. So an exchange, I've explained exchange is basically like in those days where you had trade by barter. Okay, you have something like let me be realistic here. You have a certain type of goods, and then you want another good, so you give what you have to get what you want. So an exchange is basically you have certain cryptocurrencies. So there are two types of exchange. You have the fiat exchange. These are the exchanges that enable you to access different cryptocurrencies. So you have something like Coinbase that will enable you to access any cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and then Litecoin. And then after you've gotten this stuff, you're now able to access other cryptocurrencies like any type of cryptocurrency. So an exchange is what gives you that power to do that. And then exchange traded funds. So these are basically an index of funds that it's like you have one of them, but it represents a whole of them. So there are many cryptocurrencies that are seeking to do that now. Basically, if you own one of that cryptocurrency, I think Crypto20 or one of them like that does it. When you own one of that cryptocurrency, it represents lots of other cryptocurrencies. I think Crypto20 does that.
Is roughly $150 billion. Should you invest? High returns come with high risk and extreme volatility. Bitcoin's market share has dropped. Now altcoins are the majority. There are literally thousands of coins to choose from. So how can one invest in cryptocurrency effectively? Crypto20, the first tokenized crypto-only index fund. Crypto20 will autonomously track the top 20 cryptocurrencies, similar to the S&P 500, which tracks the top 500 US companies. The top 20 coins change over time, so will Crypto20's holdings, mitigating risk and volatility. Index funds with automated trading offer much lower fees than managed funds. They have consistently beaten actively managed funds since their inception, and grew by $375 billion, while actively managed funds shrunk by $308 billion in the same year. So how do you buy the cryptocurrency index? Introducing C20, the token of the Crypto20 fund. Tokens represent an investor's share of the fund. Investors are free to sell or exchange their tokens at any time. There are no exit, broker, or advice fees, with full blockchain transparency, powered by data science, and in a proven fund structure. Instantly owning a diverse cryptocurrency portfolio is now as easy as holding a single token. One token that is linked directly to 20 underlying crypto assets via the smart contract. Invest in cryptocurrency with peace of mind. Token sale opens October 2017.
Okay, so you saw that from the video. So Crypto20 is one of those cryptocurrencies that offer you something that is similar to ETF. So with one, like ETF is with one asset, you are able to trade many assets. So it's similar to the S&P 500 S&P 500 funds, where you keep track of the top 500 companies. So I don't know what you think about ETFs. Let's go to fiat. So your fiat, basically, you can call it maybe fiat currency. Basically your normal currency like dollar, euro, yen, and the rest of them that has legal backing and the rest of them. Then flipping is kind of a state or a period where the Ethereum, those who are involved with Ethereum, they believe that someday Ethereum's market cap is going to exceed Bitcoin market cap, and Ethereum is going to be the top one. Then FOMO has to do with fear of missing out. So this is a kind of emotional stuff where people, maybe, for example, it could be driven by news, it could be driven by maybe currency giving an announcement, or it could even be driven by somebody on YouTube. That is why the first thing you want to do, you want to educate yourself most time. You want to educate yourself in such a way that you are not moved. So fear of missing out is you are buying something because you fear that the price is going to shoot up if you don't buy now. And then maybe you buy and the price starts dropping. and then fork. So fork has to do with a process where is a piece of software or a blockchain application or whatsoever cryptocurrencies splits into two because certain changes are made without every party agreeing to it to that change. So you've seen that with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and then other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. So if the change that maybe a certain party is proposing to the system, if it's a change which a majority of the people actually consent to, there will be no fork. But if a majority of the people do not consent to it and the person go ahead to create such make such changes to the code, what happens is that the original will still be there. What the person made will not make any change to the original. Rather, the person is creating his own version of that cryptocurrency. That's what we call fork. And then you have FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So it's basically when someone is giving certain informations that could cause people to take actions out of fear, out of uncertainty, and out of doubt. So let's say, for example, now you've heard the news where Charles Hockenstein from Cardano actually tweeted, there was a post on Bitcoin Talk that says he died something like in a car crash, and he actually tweeted. Now that news is not a verified news. Actually, it's going to affect the price. Oh, this guy actually died. Okay, the price will start plummeting. People will start selling. No, I don't want to have anything to do with platform like that. Until you have to tweet and say, no, I'm alive. The same thing also happened with I think it was last year where Vitalik Buterin, there was a news that said he actually died in a car crash or something like that. So there are people who are spreading kind of rumor. And this rumor affects because it stirs up fear in people, because the market is almost like there are people who buy into cryptocurrency not because they have knowledge of what they are buying into. They are buying based on emotions, like okay, I don't want to miss out. They are selling most times based on the emotion also. So the cryptocurrency market is almost like a market that is not driven by knowledge that people have. It's driven by almost emotion. Oh, let me get in before I miss out and the rest of them. And then futures has to do with when, like, let's say a type of cryptocurrency, a certain company is offering a kind of asset that will be traded on a regulated exchange at a certain amount of time. So guys, I hope you've learned something today. Share this video with your friends. You think maybe you could learn something useful. And do have a very good day.